We are going to start this segment with a history lesson. We have none other than Johnny Appleseed.
Howdy, folks.
Also known as Brian Pertle. I'm sorry, I just got to do that. Just knock on wood, right? Knock on metal.
You know, Johnny Appleseed's always been a hero of mine. Johnny Appleseed was a real person. His name was John Chapman, born in the mid-1700s. And Johnny Appleseed was a pioneer, and he was also the original nurseryman. And so he's always been a hero of mine. I've always considered myself kind of a modern-day Johnny Appleseed, and I'm spreading the joy and all the virtues of gardening to the masses, just like Johnny Appleseed did.
Well, we're going to talk about different kinds of fruit trees because there's been a resurgence in planting fruit trees.
People love fruit trees. It would have made Johnny proud that more people are planting fruit trees now, and I think it's a great idea. People want to grow their own stuff. They want to know where their food is coming from.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why they want to start planting their own fruits and berries and nuts and everything else.
Well, let's start over here, and I'm going to get a little distance from you because this looks kind of wicked.
Yeah, you got to watch out.
All right, so what are we starting with here?
We're starting with just a plain old apple tree, and we carry a lot of varieties of apples. I'm a tart apple person. I like Granny Smith and Arkansas Black, but we also carry Gala and the sweet apples as well.
Beautiful.
And over here, this is an apple tree, same apple, but with the pruning technique, it has been made into what's called a espalier apple. And what that means is they grow it horizontally. And you can grow this right up against a wall or in a narrow place where you couldn't grow a regular fruit tree. And this is all done through training and through pruning.
So it's kind of like, I came from the Napa area a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of like the vines,
That's right.
the grapevines.
The same thing they do with the vines. They train them in the situation that they want them to be.
So the nice thing is you can do this, like you said, if you've got a small yard or just an area that, just one area really would be best for that.
Yes.
And it's not big, that's a good option.
Yes, and you can keep it to almost whatever size you want. If you want it to get bigger, you'd come up here and make another level coming out off of this branch right here.
Okay, but the deal is to train it early and often.
Get on it early, exactly.
All right, so what do we have next?
These are just some more trees that do well here in Oklahoma. This is a pear tree called Camisa pear, and makes beautiful pears. I love the pear trees because they're very easy to grow. I also like the Asian pear trees. They look more like an apple, and they're very sweet and very crisp. Not as gritty as like a Bartlett pear.
Okay, so tell me the difference, because so many people have Bradford pears, which are fruitless.
Yes.
Obviously, but and I know that they can be difficult because they can get dense and they can break easily in the wind and the ice.
That's right.
So are these better in terms of their shape and structure?
Much better with their shape and structure, and also with pruning fruit trees, you're always going to keep on top of it more than you would prune a Bradford pear. So really pruning your fruit trees is almost a yearly thing.
How, so pruning, I mean, is it a topping thing or is it a narrowing out?
There's some different ways of doing it, but the way I like to do it is I like to open up the inside. One of the big things about fruit trees is air circulation. So in most trees you want to keep a central leader. In a fruit tree you want to take out the inside and make it more open in the inside so the air circulation can get through. Another thing about fruit trees, when you prune them, it pares down how many flowers you have. If you have too many flowers, you get too much fruit and the fruit doesn't mature. And so you'll limit the amount of fruit and then you'll get big ripe fruit.
That's just like the grapevines, the same kind of principle.
Exactly, same principle as the grapevines.
So what is next door to it? That's pretty.
Next door is a couple of different varieties of plum. That's methyl plum. That's my favorite plum because it's self-fertile. You do not need two of them. With the pears and the apples, you need a pair of them to make fruit. With the methyl plum, you only need one, and it will fertilize its own self.
Okay.
And then this is just another couple varieties of plum, and this is an unusual plum. That's Santa Rosa, but it's a weeping Santa Rosa. And so you get the unusual growth habit, and then you're still going to get plums off of this.
Oh,
you get the pretty flowers in the springtime, but you have that nice weeping habit. So a little bit more of an ornamental fruit tree.
Well, I was going to say this could really be a focal point.
You could use
it
right in a flower bed.
Interesting. And it makes it easy for you to pick the fruit too.
That's right.
It's hanging down there for you.
Down to you. And then this is a peach tree. People who like peaches love to see this. This is a little baby peach on there. That means our peaches did not get frozen back this year from a late freeze. So there will be a peach crop this year, and I'm really looking forward to the peach crop. Looking forward to making some pies and doing some canning. Some other things I've got here, this is a fig tree, and we carry some more unusual type of fruit here at TLC, not just your average apple, pear, peach. That is fig tree, and it will grow here in Oklahoma.
See, I would have thought it would have been too cold here for figs.
They will survive the winter. Now, sometimes they'll die to the ground, but they'll always come back. And I have one in my yard that comes back every year. The whole top dies sometimes, but it comes back every year. And next to it, another thing you wouldn't think would grow here, this is pomegranate. And pomegranate will grow here. There's some beautiful, huge ones in Nichols Hills. And I always go by and look at them to see if they survived the winter. And sure enough, they survived the winter before last, which was as bad a winter as we're going to get, probably.
Right, right. Interesting. So, I mean, so this is all full sun. And we talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
This is persimmon.
Okay.
And which is a native tree. And again, I like the Asian varieties. Asian persimmons are larger and sweeter. Okay. And never pick your persimmons till after the hard freeze in the fall.
Oh, okay.
And then a real oddball, this is pawpaw tree. There's one little pawpaw flower right up there. And unusual tree for Oklahoma.
And you would grow this because?
So you could go pick up pawpaws in the pawpaw patch.
Only at TLC.
And then that's a quince tree, which makes a nice big quince fruit, which are really tart. And you don't want to eat your quince, but it's great for making jams and jellies.
So this is like the quince bush. I mean, is it the same thing, just in a different?
Little bit different, bit different. This makes a lot larger fruit than the quince bush, and this will grow up into be a beautiful tree.
But like the bush, does it flower early in the season?
Flowers really early, just like the bush.
Okay.
And I threw in a pecan tree because we don't want to forget about our nut trees. Pecans do great here in Oklahoma. They're native, and we have all kinds of paper shell pecans here.
And you've got some
Wanted
berries.
to finish it off with the berries. Grapes do great here. Blackberries do wonderful. This is blueberries, and you can see it's just full of blueberries. Blueberries also have great fall color. And then I wanted to throw in an oddball. That is elderberry. And elderberry is a great berry. You can make wine out of it.
Yeah. Well, Johnny would be proud. Brian, thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right.